Welcome into Titans Today. I am Tom Downey. We're talking about the number one overall pick plan for Tennessee. The buzz continues to grow that Tennessee is very much open to dealing that top overall pick. NFL Network's Ian Rapoport, the latest to report that the Titans are open to doing that. This comes on the heels of public comments made by several of the key decision makers that, they're maybe open to doing it. This is kind of continuing that reporting. So will the Titans actually end up trading that number one overall pick? Why for yes and for no? Go vote in the comments section of today's show. This is what Ian Rapoport reported this morning for NFL Network on NFL.com. While it's early in the process, Tennessee has an open mind with the first pick, sources say. All options are on the table, including possibly trading the pick. And the Titans are expected to receive calls from other teams. Now, Rapp mentioned 5 teams in particular that could be potential trade partners for that top overall selection. The Browns at number 2, the Giants at number 3, the Raiders at number 6, the Jets and Saints at 7 and 9, respectively. In theory, not in theory, the further down you go, the more you get. We know that from previous history. I don't know how far Tennessee would truly want to go down, since when you get to pick 9, those top 10 grades, top 5 grades are pretty much all gone. It is worth mentioning, what the potential value could be. If you want to move way down and move down like the Bears did back in 2023, they got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, not all in the same year, obviously, and a superstar receiver in DJ Moore. Back in 2016, when Tennessee moved way down, they got 2 firsts, 2 seconds in the same class, 2 thirds, not all in the same class. As we'll discuss, the quarterback class in this year's group is not as well regarded as some previous seasons. So I do think there are some other trades that are worth comparing to. 2021 was not a ton for the Chargers to move down. A first, a third in the same class, a future 2, and a receiver. That was the Mike Vick LT trade, which actually worked out pretty well for the most part for both sides. I do think some of the other number 2 pick trades stand out. The Niners moved down 1 spot. They got 2 3s and a 4. Now, that's different than number 1. You could probably get a little bit more. Back in 2016, to move down several spots, the Browns got a first, to move down, obviously, another first, a second, a third, and a 4th. Tennessee, even in a down quarterback class, if a team gets desperate enough, you can get a pretty big haul. And that is why the Giants stand out to me as an ideal trade partner. They are desperate to get a quarterback. That regime's jobs depend on getting the right guy in there or at least showing hope for the franchise moving forward. And if you move down to 3, you guarantee at least one of Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter are there. Maybe both of them are there if QBs go 1-2 somehow. But moving down, it's extra draft capital and maybe buys you time to find that right QB. Although the head coach might be feeling a bit more pressure than the new GM is. So I want you guys to go vote at the pinned comment of today's show. What is the percent chance the Titans end up trading the number 1 overall pick? Let me know at the pinned comment if the ad comes here on YouTube. Good note here that was also mentioned in the NFL Network piece from Daniel Jeremiah that fit matters in this quarterback class. They're not universal talents, perfect for any scheme, supporting cast, weather, etc., and that makes it a bit dicey for a team to take a quarterback unless they really think he is the guy. And Rapp acknowledged this. What Daniel Jeremiah said makes the Titans, who have Will Levis under contract through 2026, with still a veteran QB, may not just be a QB away from being successful anyway, and could use plenty of talent on their roster for years to come, makes them the perfect team to explore moving the pick. Now look, if you are convinced that Cam Ward is going to be a top 10, top 5 NFL quarterback, if you're convinced Shadur Sanders is going to be that same guy, if you believe those guys are franchise quarterbacks, then you just sit there and pick them. You don't know when you're going to be drafted necessarily in the top 2 again. That's not always a guarantee. So it's a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, right? If you believe that is your franchise guy, you take them. If you don't believe that, which there's pros and cons on both sides, that's when a trade begins to make more sense if you can find a trade partner, because who say those teams don't feel the exact same way? A lot more of this to come, of course. But today's show is made possible by PrizePicks, the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. The big game is hours away, or maybe minutes, depending on when exactly you're watching today's show. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season. With PrizePicks, you can still get the free square. Patrick Mahomes, a half passing yard. I'm also going Saquon Barkley, more than yards on the ground, and Xavier Worthy, more than 5.5 rushing yards. Download the PrizePicks app today over at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that code, CLNS, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS. Look, we know that this quarterback class is not as strong as it has been in some years. Maybe not even as weak as the Kenny Pickett class, which did produce one guy that ended up being pretty good. So there is a weird dichotomy here of you want to trade down, you want assets. People are going to want the number 1 overall pick, but you would only trade down because you don't think the quarterback is there for you. But someone is going to think you're wrong. That does get a little bit nervy of like, it's one thing to say, like if Will Levis was good, trade down, it's fine. He's not. So does Cam Ward become the number 1 overall pick? The gunslinger. He is a creator that will be able to make plays happen for you in the offense. Sometimes hold the ball too long. Maybe a team loves Shedeur Sanders. I think you have to vet dad a little bit there and how much drama could be occurring from that area, which isn't fair, but that is how it's going to work with Shedeur Sanders. He is an executor, highly accurate quarterback as well. We'll spend a lot of time here on the draft, on the number 1 overall pick, on the trades, on the ideas. We'll do a mock draft with a trade down scenario. Have not done that yet for a team that only has 2 top 100 picks, or almost 100 picks. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/Titans today. For now, at least, the Titans control the NFL draft. They have the number 1 overall pick. The Browns and Giants and Raiders and Jags, which they can't really plan stuff until they get a feel for what the Titans are going to do. And the Titans have to get a feel for what they will do. More from Rap here. A trade could bring a bounty of picks, allowing Tennessee to accelerate their build. Or they could stick and pick a quarterback at number 1, provided they view that passer as a generational talent. Those evaluations are ongoing. Now, we'll go in depth on what the timeline could look like here. But there is time for Tennessee to decide. No doubts they are working rapidly to identify if the quarterback is the right guy. They're probably devoting a lot of their time right now to getting all the info they can on Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. But what do you want to do with the number 1 overall pick this year? T for you want to trade it. K for you want to keep it. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Some key off-season dates that are certainly worth mentioning here. The Combine begins February 24th. So that is just around the corner. There will be some in-person stuff there. The Titans are going to take Cam Ward out to dinner one night and Shedeur Sanders out the other night. I wonder who will throw. I suspect Shedeur Sanders might add some water weight and won't end up throwing at the Combine. We'll see if I'm right or wrong on that front there. March 4th, prospect visits can start, so you can get those guys into the building to have in-depth interviews with them. March 10th, free agency starts. And, of course, the draft begins on April 24th. It is not guaranteed, but in an ideal world, the Titans have most of, maybe not finalized, but a good feel for their plan, what they want to do before the start of NFL free agency. You would like to know what your quarterback needs are going into free agency. Do you need to sign 1 or 2 veteran stopgaps? Maybe just the one in the end. If you're trying to make a trade for a veteran, if you're going to just draft somebody, then you know what your quarterback plan of attack is going to be. That could just be a stopgap option. And you say, let's punt on this year to an extent, which doesn't always go over well. Might be something your head coach has to sign off on, because your head coach might be fighting for his own job. If they go, hey, we're just going to let this year ride, have fun with Mason Rudolph, Will Levis, and Jameis Winston. That's not maybe the best idea either. What this also allows, if you to get things going quickly, allows you to keep more trade partners in play. What you don't want to have happen is not really know what you're going to do, drag your feet, Sam Darnold signs with the Raiders or something, and now you don't have the same leverage you had potentially. So don't have to rush it. The sooner you make that call, the better for the Tennessee Titans.